Hey y'all, Shane here, and I have an exciting announcement for you. We have just launched a second podcast. That's right. Not only are we going to be bringing you the Flipped Lifestyle podcast every single week, where we help one of our members of the Flip Your Life community start, build, and grow a membership site of their own. We also now have a podcast called Membership Masters. This is an exciting podcast where we interview the best people in the membership world every single week, and we help you get and keep more members in your membership site. We help you with all of your membership marketing so that you can build $1 million membership of your own. These are amazing long-form, raw conversation with some of the biggest membership entrepreneurs in the game. People like James Schramko, Stu McLaren, John Lee Dumas, Robbie Baxter, and Mike Morrison of the Membership Guys podcast. The Membership Masters podcast is like being a fly on the wall in a high-level mastermind where you're hearing real membership masters talk shop, talk strategy, talk tactics, and talk about building $1 million memberships of their own. Now, I know many people don't have access to a lot of these conversations, a lot of these people, so I'm bringing these experts to you so that you can learn how to grow your membership business and build a better future for your family. Over the next few weeks, we're going to be airing short previews of the Membership Masters podcast right here in the Flipped Lifestyle podcast feed so that you can get a taste of what's happening over at Membership Masters. We want you to listen in and preview these episodes and then go over to flippedlifestyle.com/membershipmasters and listen to the full episode of the podcast. Subscribe to the new Membership Masters podcast and leave us a review. That's flippedlifestyle.com/membershipmasters. That's going to take you right to Apple Podcast where you can subscribe and listen and review. All right, that's all I've got for this little introduction to the Membership Masters podcast. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this preview episode. I know it's going to help you take your membership game to the next level. Welcome to the Membership Masters podcast, brought to you by membershipmasters.com. This is the podcast where we teach you how to get and keep more members every single month. I've helped thousands of people start, build, and grow memberships, and I interview some of the biggest membership owners anywhere online. My goal is to help you build $1 million membership of your own. Brick by brick, let's do it together. Come on. Hey, Stu.
Hello. How are you?
Healthy as I can be, happy as I can be, and whole as I can be. What about you, brother?
Yeah, no, things are good on our end. We're just bunkered down and making the most of it.
I've got a 40-acre farm in the mountains of southeast Kentucky. So I've been social distancing by about 30 acres for about 5 years. So I'm kind of used to being out here by myself. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. That's very cool.
That's good, man. I thought about you when all this started breaking out, and you were gone. Aren't you out of the country when this kind of started rolling out?
Yeah, we had to scramble back. We were in Puerto Rico, and we usually go for an extended period of time to get away from the Canadian winter. And so we were there a couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden this starts to really hit. And I was also supposed to speak in an event there. And so this started to come on strong. So I was like, okay, well, we'll move our, return trip up a week. And we did. And then my parents are pinging me saying you got to get home. The prime minister is going to close the border.
Oh my gosh.
And so then we're just okay. So we moved it up to literally a couple days later. And, and then we got home, and when we crossed the border, the border guards are like, you have to stay home. You're quarantined for 14 days, meaning you can't go anywhere. And so it's pretty legit. So anyway, we got home, and we've been quarantined since. And, it's fine. It's just inconvenient,
I got a buddy up in Toronto. So I've been kind of keeping up with what's going on up there. And I went to California on February 29th. I was there till the 2nd for I was doing a side event for Social Media Marketing World. Yeah. Came back, and I got freaking sick. Dude, I couldn't breathe. My lungs started hurting. I had a slight fever, but not the fever they say that they're getting with the COVID. And I went to the emergency room, and they tested me, and I had a respiratory infection. They knew, but there were no tests. And they said, hey, if you can hunker down and just take it, we'll come back if
Wow.
you can't breathe. It was crazy. They sent me home, and there was about 4 days. I think that some of it though was the panic and anxiety of, do I have this thing?
Yeah.
We had just Jocelyn had just went to Mexico, so we had both been traveling.
Yeah.
And then everything broke loose, man. It was just like,
it's
crazy,
it's I think at the end of the day, like, it's a tremendously serious thing. Like, I'm obviously very concerned on the health side. I have a good friend of ours who's an ER nurse, so she's on the front lines of it.
Oh, God,
she's had to move, like, she moved into a trailer, into a driveway to keep separation from her kids and her husband. Then of course, like, there's the ripple effect in all businesses, like particularly the brick and mortar. I've got one of the groomsmen in my wedding years ago. He owns a restaurant, and I've got a friend who owns a brewery and coffee shops and retail shops, and all of that's just come to a crashing halt. So that side of it really sucks.
Yes.
But then there's the other side of it, which is the online side, which, like, quite frankly, it's booming right now.
Not gonna lie, man. Our sales were up. Get this. You want to hear a weird membership to be working right now? And I'll hit record in a minute. We'll actually talk about all this, because this is what this podcast is. Actually, it's just two dudes who run memberships talking about stuff. You know what I'm saying? And know about things. But I have an education company. So we used to have a site called elementarylibrarian.com. We sold that, but we kept our history education thing. So we provide lesson plans and curriculum for schools all over the country.
Wow.
And, dude, but we sell them to the individual teacher, not the school district necessarily. So it's a membership model. Dude, we were up 20% last month.
Wow.
When they started canceling schools, our sales went whoosh.
Yeah.
And it's because I sent an email that said, hey, we're going to loosen our licensing restrictions so you can upload our stuff into databases, because all these teachers are using Google Classroom now.
Yeah.
And people are just, because now they have to actually show resources. It's not just them in their classroom, and our sales spiked on that company, man.
That's fascinating. So you basically, because we have a whole bunch of teachers in our tribe who are doing the same thing, who, we're providing teachers lesson plans, and now they've pivoted, and they're providing those same lesson plans now to parents, because there's millions of us at home with young kids who, like, have no clue what to do. And yet we now have all of a sudden become a homeschooling teacher.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So that's fascinating. That's
what I did last year. I'm just going to go ahead and we're just going to start talking, and we'll see where this goes. Cause that's how this podcast rolls, baby. We're just talking, but like, and I'll steer it back to ask you questions. Cause I took some notes at FlynnCon. I missed you at FlynnCon, because we spoke on one day, and I think you spoke on the next day.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
I think we ships in the night of there, but I did write a couple things down I wanted to ask you about. But what we're going to do too is, I think we've been planning on doing this for a while, but catalysts always force your hand to do something faster.
Yeah.
I want to go. I hired a guy last week. He's going to come in, and we have PowerPoints in our teaching thing. This might be something you can share with your people. So I hired him. I'm going to pay him $20 a PowerPoint to read them and teach them. He's a teacher.
Yeah.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to clone our teacher site. I actually own homeschoolhistoryteacher.com.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put those videos there, because I homeschooled last year, and we couldn't really get it right. So we put our kids back in school.
Yeah.
But I did learn that the curriculums online are terrible. Like, they don't help the homeschool parent, right?
Right.
What you need is a teacher to teach it, and you need an automated learning check that they can click a button on, like something in Kajabi or Teachable, right?
Yeah.
And then once they submit, maybe there's some printable resources. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just launch that over the next couple of weeks, and just throw that out there into the marketplace and say, hey, all you people who have a high school junior or sophomore that are needing to get this AP history done, needing to get this stuff done, give this a try. And I'm going to try and launch it for like $9 a month and just see what happens.
I think it'll do really well, man. I mean, like, there's millions and millions of parents who have no clue what to do, other than, we don't want our kids vegging in front of the TV or on the iPads.
And getting behind for the rest of their life.
Yeah, we want them being productive. But like, it's a struggle, because, like, not only that, but you got all these parents who want to teach their kids but have no clue where to start, and they're trying to figure out, like, how to manage their day, because there's still a work day in there that they got to somehow figure out as well. So it's a whole big, opportunity, in my opinion, because it's just created a new problem. And I think anytime you can solve that problem quickly for people and make it easy, because the other thing that a couple of people were asking was like, well, wait a minute, like, there's a ton of free resources online. I'm like, yeah, but also keep in mind, like, the parents don't have time to sift and sort through all that stuff. They don't want to sift and sort through all that stuff. They just want somebody to tell them what to do and what to teach, you know?
Right, man.
So
we always tell people one of the teaching points, because all we teach is memberships now. That's all we teach is people how to build recurring revenue. I always tell people, like, when someone says, like, what do you do? I'm like, well, I teach real families how to get 100 people to pay them $50 a month and make $60,000 a year. That's what I do. You want to go buy the Ferrari and the Lamborghini and whatever you want to do, I'll send you to the next guy. But my job is to get you out of the slavery of the job and into the freedom of your own work, right?
Yeah.
And, but like we always tell people say that to us all the time, like, well, content's free everywhere. Yeah, but curation's not.
Right.
Curation is the path, the blueprint, the step-by-step, the, hey, grab my hand and I'll shine the light on the path for you. Like that's what a membership community really offers people that you cannot find just surfing the web.
People are not paying for information. They're paying for.
All right, y'all. That's all we've got for this preview episode of the Membership Masters podcast. I know we left you on a cliffhanger. I'm sorry, but I wanted you to be excited to go over and listen to the full episode of the Membership Masters podcast that you started today. You can download the Membership Masters podcast everywhere where podcasts are heard. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts. I think we even upload this thing to YouTube. But the best way to get there is over on Apple Podcasts. Just go to flippedlifestyle.com/membership masters, and we will take you right to Apple Podcasts, where you can listen to the rest of this episode, hit that subscribe button, and leave us a 5-star review. That's flippedlifestyle.com/membership masters, and you can listen to the rest of this podcast today. Thanks for checking out the Membership Masters podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be right back here with you again next week with the Flipped Lifestyle podcast, and we're going to keep previewing episodes of the Membership Masters podcast for the next couple weeks. We are so excited that we get to serve you and your family now twice a week. Once on the Flipped Lifestyle podcast, where we help you start, build, and grow a membership site of your own. And again on the Membership Masters podcast, where we help you get and keep more members every single month and build $1 million membership. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.